Welcome back to Momentum Academy. In this lesson, we're going to start building the header for our professional landing page. We'll be following along with the Figma design file. If you don't have access to that yet, check the link in the description. If you've never used Figma before, it's a professional design tool. What's great about Figma is that designers use the same principles as HTML and CSS, so what's designed there can be built for the web. Now, Bubble does have a Figma import option, but we don't use it. It rarely works the way you want because the way a designer lays things out in Figma isn't necessarily the way we need to build it in Bubble. So instead we use the Figma file as a guide and recreate it directly in Bubble. Let's open up the Figma file. Scroll down to the mid-fidelity page and zoom in on the header section. You'll see the dimensions 1440 wide by 64 high. So the header is the full width of the page with a height of 64 pixels. Here's a quick tip on how to check spacing and padding in Figma. If you click an element and then hold down Option or Alt while hovering outside, you'll see the padding values appear. Here we can see left and right padding of 156 pixels. If we click on the text and hover outside, we can see the spacing between words, in this case 24 pixels. Okay, now let's go back into Bubble. Start by deleting these elements if you added them in the last lesson. Next, let's configure the page itself. Select the page background and in the property editor select Layout. Set the container layout to column. That way, sections like header, hero and services will stack vertically down the page. Make sure the alignment is set to top. Now change the default page width to 1440 to match our design. Uncheck the spacing gap. We don't need this on the page itself. Next, we're going to set up the groups for the header. Think of this like a structure, an outer parent group that holds the header. Inside it, a container row to center the content. On the left, the logo. On the right, a nav group containing our navigation items. Add a group to the top of the page. Because our page is a column, it will snap to the top automatically. Perfect! In the Appearance tab, select Background Style, Flat Color. In Background Color, select a color. Rename it Group Header. In the Layout tab, change this group's layout to row and set its height to 64 pixels fixed. Add left and right padding of 156. That matches our Figma file. Now, inside the header group, add another group. Rename this group container in the Layout tab. Change it to a row layout as well. Center its vertical alignment. In the Appearance tab, give it a background color for now so we can see it. Select Background Style, Flat Color. In Background Color, select a color. You'll notice the padding is working and it's centered. Don't worry about the top and bottom padding just yet. We'll fit this to content later. If you try to fit to content now, it will collapse because there's nothing inside it. So for now, we'll leave the fixed height so we can see what we're doing. Now let's add a placeholder for the logo. Drag in a shape and call it Shape Logo. Set its dimensions to fixed width of 168 pixels and fixed height of 27 pixels. In the Appearance tab, give it a background color. Select Background Style, Flat Color. In Background Color, select a color. Next, add another group inside the container for the navigation. Rename it Group Navs. Again, give it a background color. In the Layout tab, set its layout to row. Inside Group Nav, add a text element. type About. Let's check our structure. Group header is a row with a fixed height and padding of 156 on the left and right. Group container is a row and is centered vertically. Shape logo is on the left. And group nav is next to it with text inside. We need to do some more work on the group nav. In the Layout tab, check Fit Width to Content. In Group Container, we have a few options for alignment. Left, which aligns everything to the left as it is now. Centered. Right, aligns everything to the right. Then we have space around, which gives even space between elements with half that space on the left and right. But what we want here is space between, which evenly spaces the elements with no space on the left and right. Good. Now let's make Group Container fit its height to content. In the Layout tab, remove the fixed height. Do the same for Group Nav. In Group Nav, copy and paste the text 2 times so we have 3 items. Leave the first one with the text About. Change the next one to Testimonials. And the last one to Contact. Spacing in Figma is 24 pixels between items. So select Group Nav in the Layout tab, check Apply Spacing Gap, and set the column gap to 24. Preview it now. You'll see our layout is correct, but our Group Nav is aligning to the top of the Group Container, so let's fix that. In Bubble, select Group Nav, and in Vertical Alignment, choose Center. Check the Group Container is also aligned vertically, and on Shape Logo in Vertical Alignment, choose Center too. Now, let's replace the Shape logo with an actual image. Right-click or Control-click on Shape logo and choose Replace Element Type. For the new element type, choose Image. Select Replace. In the Appearance tab, upload your logo file. If you don't already have it, there's a link under the first video where you can download all the images from Figma. Once the image is uploaded, keep the same dimensions, 168 by 27. Rename this element Image Logo. Let's tidy things up. Remove the temporary background colours on the group header, Group Container, and Group Nav. Let's check in Figma for the header background colour. You can find the colour here. To copy, just click on this code. Go back to the editor, select the group header, and in the Appearance tab, select Background Style, Flat Colour. In Background Colour, paste the colour we copied from Figma #FEFEFE. Next, add the shadow in Shadow Style Select Outset. For the horizontal offset, select 2. For the vertical offset, type 7. For the blur radius, type 12. For the box shadow colour, type in 6 twos and set the opacity to 8%. That gives the header a subtle lift off the page. Next, let's style the navigation text. Select About and detach the style. In Figma, the font is Inter, weight 400, size 16, line height 24. Back in Bubble Check, the font is Inter, the weight is 400 and the size is 16. Set the line height to 1.5. change the text colour to the grey from Figma by copying and pasting the hex code 24262B. Now let's add the hover effect. In Figma, when you hover over the nav text, a line appears underneath. To do this in Bubble, select the text and in the Appearance tab scroll down to Borders. Check Define each border independently. For the bottom border style, choose Solid for the width type 4 and set the colour to match the background FEFEFE. This way it's invisible by default but prevents the text from bouncing when hovered. Now add a conditional. Select the Conditional tab, select Define another condition. In this box, we will define when we want this condition to occur. Bubble will help us build this expression. Click here. A list of options will appear. We want our condition to be true when our text is hovered, so select this text. More options now appear. We'll choose Is hovered. Click on the grey outside the expression. Now we want to tell Bubble what property we want to change when our expression is true. Click on the drop down. We want to change the colour of the bottom border, so start typing colour to filter the list and the border colour bottom will be visible. Select this. Next we need to tell Bubble what colour to change it to. Type in 411AB6 to match the colour to the one in Figma. Preview again. You'll see the underline appear on hover without the text shifting up and down. Perfect. Now duplicate the text about that we just styled twice. Delete text testimonials and contact that we added earlier without the styling. Change one to testimonial and the other to contact. Last step. In Figma, the content width is 1128. To keep the header from stretching too wide on large screens, set Group Containers max width to 1128. That way, even if your page width is bigger than 1440, your header stays aligned. Preview again. And that's it. We've built the header, logo on the left, navigation on the right, styled correctly with hover states and a shadow. In the next lesson, we'll move on to the hero section and start adding headings, subheadings and buttons. See you there.